Have you ever noticed how a single flicker of light can make the shadows restless, almost alive with agitation? What if every challenge you face is not a punishment, but a deliberate step in your soul's transformation? And could it be that the silence you feel in your darkest moments is not emptiness, but the universe holding its breath before your breakthrough? When a candle is lit, the darkness around it doesn't simply retreat. It becomes restless, almost as if it's alive. It presses closer, not out of anger or hatred, but because light reveals what shadows desperately wish to keep hidden. This is the nature of walking the path illuminated by karma. The brighter the soul shines, the more trials it must endure, as though the universe itself is asking, can this light endure when all conditions seem to conspire against it? Zen wisdom reminds us, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. But what about the space in between? What happens during those hidden seasons of the soul, when karma begins to bloom beneath the surface? In soil untouched by sunlight, the Lotus Sutra whispers, as fire refines gold, so suffering purifies the spirit. It is within this refining fire that 7 profound trials emerge, not as punishments, but as master sculptors, carving the soul into its destined form. These challenges are not fairy tales or distant myths. They are reflections of countless silent journeys, walked by those whose karma blossoms with virtue. These are the ones whose blessings are near, but who must earn them not through action alone, but through deep spiritual resilience. Let us walk this hidden path together. The test of sudden isolation. The first trial often arrives without warning. Friendships that once felt unshakable fall apart like dried leaves in autumn. The support systems you relied on quietly fade away. Suddenly, the path feels empty, as if the traveler's soul, radiant with deep goodness, begins to echo in a vast, silent void. Warm glances turn cold, and those who were once drawn to your light now seem to withdraw, not out of malice, but from an unseen discomfort. Why does this happen? As karma shifts energies, old attachments rooted in ego can no longer rise alongside a soul that is ascending. Relationships built on dependence, flattery, or shallow bonds begin to crumble. Zen teaches us, only in silence can the wind speak clearly. Similarly, only in solitude can the soul truly hear its own echo. This stage is not about punishment. It is about transformation. It is a spiritual detox, stripping away dependency and teaching the soul to stand firm without leaning on others. Loneliness in this phase is not an end, it is a preparation. A soul destined for great blessings must first learn to stand alone. Only then can true and lasting companions appear, those who align with the soul's highest frequency. The trial of unexpected loss. What once seemed stable and secure vanishes without warning. Wealth diminishes, health falters, and doors that once stood open close abruptly. To the outside observer, this may look like misfortune, but through the lens of karma, it is something far deeper, a profound purification. Loss forces presence. It strips away illusions of control, leaving the soul nowhere to run but inward. Often, A soul rich in good karma carries hidden attachments, chains from past lives that bind it to material desires. Loss serves as a liberator, breaking these chains and shifting the focus from what I own to who I am. In Buddhist thought, every loss is a step toward liberation. It clears the altar of the spirit, making room for offerings of higher value, those built not on fleeting possessions, but on eternal truths. Loss is not cruelty, it is clarity. It humbles the soul, preparing it to receive blessings that are not built on sand, but on spirit. The battle with self-doubt, this challenge does not come from the outside world. It arises from within. Faults churn like a storm. Why is this happening to me? Am I not enough? Did I make a mistake? Even the kindest and most virtuous soul can find itself tormented by these questions. When good karma ripens, it activates both light and shadow within the soul. Doubt arises, not because the soul is weak, but because the ego fears transformation. Zen wisdom reminds us, the obstacle is not the mountain, but the pebble in your shoe. In this phase, the pebble takes the form of unworthiness, guilt, and fear, whispering lies to delay awakening. Yet, this inner turmoil is sacred. By confronting these whispers, the soul reclaims its truth and learns to walk not with confidence, but with unshakable inner knowing. Doubt becomes the fire that tempers belief into unwavering trust. It is not a sign of failure, it is a rite of passage. Only the soul brave enough to lose everything, including its old identity, can rise into clarity. The return of the past, old wounds resurface, and forgotten faces reappear, not for connection, but for closure. This challenge brings echoes of ancient karma, offering the soul a choice to repeat old patterns or release them. Buddhism teaches attachment is the root of suffering. At this stage, unresolved emotions, betrayal, rejection, or pain return, not to haunt but to teach. When the soul chooses forgiveness over resentment and peace over retaliation, the karmic cycle completes itself. The past does not linger to torment. It comes to remind. And when its lesson is embraced, it departs forever. The silence of the divine. In this phase, prayers seem unanswered, and the spiritual path turns eerily quiet. Many mistake this silence for abandonment, but in truth, it is a sacred cocoon, a time of unseen growth. Like a seed buried deep in the earth, the soul's transformation is happening beneath the surface. Zen whispers, when the student is ready, the teacher is silent. This silence tests the soul's faith. Will you continue to walk in trust, even when no signs appear? Those who persevere through this quiet emerge with a faith that is no longer transactional, but transformative. A living flame that needs no external validation. As we tread this path, the soul is being refined and prepared for blessings beyond imagination. But what happens when temptation arises, offering shortcuts that glitter but lack substance? And how does the soul respond when faced with the final test, the repetition of old cycles? Let's explore these final steps together in the next chapter. Introduction to connect the content. In the previous part, we explored the journey of a soul rich in good karma, learning how trials are not curses but gateways to enlightenment. Now, let's dive deeper into the story and uncover the quiet strength that carries the soul through these sacred challenges. The bamboo and the storm. Have you ever wondered why bamboo can withstand the fiercest storms? It bends, but it never breaks. Why? Because it doesn't resist the wind. It becomes one with it. It flows with the storm, not against it. Similarly, a soul rich in good karma may be bent by trials, but it is never broken. The challenges before blessings are not punishments. They are signs, confirmations that the universe is watching, guiding, and preparing you. Every silent step you take on this path is a step toward your destiny. As Zen wisdom reminds us, do not seek the light, become it, but to become the light, you must first walk through everything that hides it: pain, loss, doubt, silence, temptation, and repetition. These are not enemies, they are guardians, protectors of sacred blessings meant only for those who dare to walk with courage, trust, and truth. Let this serve as your reminder. If you are facing these challenges, it does not mean you are cursed. It means you are chosen. You are not merely walking toward blessings, you are walking through them. Shine without condition and let karma take care of the rest. The silent strength of the chosen soul. These 7 great challenges are not tales of suffering. They are sacred thresholds of spiritual refinement. When a soul radiates good karma, it unknowingly signs a silent contract. I am ready to carry light. And with it, I am ready to pass through fire. But this fire does not burn to destroy. It burns to reveal, to uncover the gold hidden beneath the dust, to polish the mirror of the self until it no longer distorts truth with fear, desire, or ego. The lessons of the 7 challenges. First, isolation teaches clarity. When companionship fades and conversations end, it feels like abandonment, but silence purifies the noise. In this empty space, you begin to see your faults, your needs, and your dependencies. You stop clinging. You start listening, not to others, but to the voice within, the one that has been waiting for you all along. Second, loss teaches detachment. When the things you once leaned on collapse, you come face to face with impermanence. You begin to understand that true security is not found in possessions but in presence. The person who loses everything yet bows with grace learns that nothing can be taken from a soul rooted in awareness. Third, doubt teaches inner power. Storms of doubt test the foundation of your belief. If your confidence was built on external validation, it will crumble. But if your belief arises from deep understanding, doubt becomes the fertilizer for wisdom. You don't silence doubt, you outgrow it. True faith is learning to walk forward even when uncertainty surrounds you. Fourth, the past teaches closure. Old wounds resurface, not to harm you, but to free you. What remains unhealed continues to control you. A soul ready for blessings does not carry old scars as armor. Instead, it releases them like autumn leaves falling to the ground. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is liberation. Fifth, divine silence teaches surrender. When no answers come and the path grows dim, the ego panics, but the awakened soul sits calmly, knowing that the absence of a voice does not mean the absence of presence. The divine never leaves. It simply watches in silence to see if your love is conditional on rewards. Sixth, temptation teaches discernment. Not everything that glitters is sacred. A soul carrying light will attract false lights. You must learn to pause and ask, does this align with my purpose? Or is it merely feeding my ego? Choosing truth over fleeting pleasure creates the path where destiny patiently waits. Seventh, repetition teaches mastery. Patterns repeat until wisdom rises. They are not curses but classrooms. With each cycle, you are given a choice: react the same way or rise above. When your responses change, the cycle ends, not because the world has changed, but because you have. Conclusion and call to action. Souls rich in good karma are not spared from hardship. They are called into transformation. Each challenge is a gate, and each gate asks a question. Are you ready to receive not just the gift, but the responsibility of your light? The soul that endures these 7 trials while holding onto kindness, patience, humility, and truth does not just receive blessings. It becomes the blessing. If you find yourself in the storm, walking alone, feeling as though life has turned against you, remember this: you are not being punished. You are being polished. The blessings will not be late. They will arrive when you no longer need them to define your worth. Until then, breathe deeply, bow humbly, and walk forward with trust. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this content inspiring, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.